right, so welcome to week 5 in CIT 93, and this is your attendance post. Just a simple reply to show you're here. But I wanted to go over something that I had talked about actually in this video that you'll be watching at the end of this week. Sorry, this video. And so I'm going to go over it here. I had some great questions about the project, our Develop It 1 and 2. And so what I did today is I modified the content a little bit, added a visual effects, which is your CSS effects, and including your user story. One of the things a student, one of the questions was, what is a user story? And it's basically just an explanation of what your user, somebody would experience, or the story of the person that would use your app. So for me, it'd be somebody that was looking for some kind of a casual, fun-loving time dump that loves cats and likes to challenge themselves mentally by trying to match up, right? Playing brain games. I mean, something in the order of that would be what a user story is. And you write about that. So think about that user that you're creating this app for, and then write the story of that user. I will as well by the time we get to this week or this work, which will be for us starting next week. Okay, so the other thing here is that, and I talked about that in the Big Nerd Ranch on page 106, and again, I know for those of you on the digital version of this, it's a little hard to find, but just look for the overview of your project, and I want you to draw that up right there. So one of the questions that came up, and if you haven't used this, it's fairly simple, pretty fun to use. But two people asked this question, so I think it's worth talking about. They said, can we use Bootstrap for the mobile responsive layout? And my answer would be, it wouldn't be my first preference that you use Bootstrap. I teach Bootstrap in 82. The hope is that you've had 85 with Todd, and that by the time you get here, you feel like I would hope you would have the ability to create a responsive, ready, mobile ready layout. Or actually, I should call this mobile first layout without Bootstrap. Now, having said that, I will be open to you using Bootstrap, but I would tell you that, don't depend on using Bootstrap in your life. Know how to use Bootstrap and how to modify Bootstrap, but move into being able to use the native tools that are available in the platform without any framework to do that work. I think that's a better skill building than just being able to do a Bootstrap site. So again, it's not my first choice. I won't mark off for doing it. I would challenge you to think about that in the future. Okay. So I'm just going to look real quick. One of the best comments that I got was that I was a little uneasy about the autogram because it was such a simple project in theory, but I found myself completely lost by the end, towards the end. And that's what I talked about when I talked about in this video that honestly I just did today, which is really giving this time, this Big Nerd Ranch, it's a meaty in the sense that there's a lot there, and giving yourself time to review that. And the comment that I really appreciated here was that I'm going to go back and practice and build some image gallery apps like Autogram to reinforce those callbacks and the understanding, that you found difficult. And that is the right approach. That is what I would look for as well. And so some of the comments, and I've already talked about this, again, you may not hear this until the end of the week, but about folks who bought the Kindle version. And yeah, I know it can be hard in that sense. So as I look down through here, I already talked about the Bootstrap thing, so that's there. Some people found that they're actually both nervous and excited. That's a comment I saw several times on this. So I think that's good. That's actually the idea, is that this should both be like, yeah, I'm excited to try this, and this could be a little nervous. That's totally normal that you would feel that way. So those were the majority of what I got as far as the comments, but I will tell you that, here we are at week 5. Next week will be at the end of our next Thursday night's item will be your first develop one. So I am going to next week actually do the work myself so that you can see my output on this. That way you have an example, right? And I will put this in this video. And so this is your week 6 attendance. So just put that you watched and replied. And if you want, you can post any other questions that you may have had. Or if you feel like I didn't handle your question, just go ahead and put that in the reply. And I'll make sure in my next video, which I actually need to do for week 6, is I'll do that. Sorry, we're talking about week 5. So anyway, have a good weekend or week. Talk to you later.